How about you, Mina? I'm feeling it.
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. All right, everybody, it's time to get back down to the official business of today. We are on our last major agenda item. We're so honored Kim Gucci will be coming back to do a closing for us. But what we're going to do now is get down to the resolutions. So what's going to be happening, we will be pulling them up here. And again, I'm going to, there's probably somebody who's going to say it a lot better than me. Well, we have the slides up. We've got reference to it. Thank you. Audrey's so amazing. All right. Do you want to speak? Do you want to read these, Mina, or would you like me to? Thank you. I'd love for you just your yes, thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
You want me to? You want? All right, so we're going to present the first resolution on the floor here. And I just looked to Mina just because I know how important this business is. So I appreciate you entrusting me with this important work. So resolution, lots of numbers there, 20210129.04. Subject, change of language in the Carrier-Sa County Tribal Council bylaws and constitution to include no gender bias. Whereas the CSTC bylaws and constitution refers to gender bias, such as him for positions such as a CST tribal chief or CST director. Therefore, be it resolved, the CSTC membership wish to change the language in the CSTC bylaws and constitution to be inclusive of non-gender bias and to include just the position of tribal chief and director where the language refers to him. Do we have a mover and a seconder for that one? Yes, I believe we have all, just checking in here with everybody, looking at all of my boxes here to make sure.
For a mover and seconder on a couple of these?
I didn't know if we had one, so thank you. So I am for this motion. I don't see a mover and a seconder. I'm pretty sure it would be on there. Look at that. We've got, okay, I've got some hands coming up here again. I'm going to take the two, sorry I didn't clear you out the last one. So Ellen Lorette's moving, Mark Louis seconding. All right, so now any discussion on the motion? I'm going to, I see one hand up, Jessica Newski. I'm just going to allow to talk. Jessica, did you have something that you would like to speak to?
Hello.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi.
What was your question? Did you have something? You had your hand up. We're just wondering if you had any questions about the motion.
No, I didn't. I was just like, put my hand up to vote for a mover or a seconder.
Oh, thank you so much, Jessica. I'm going to make sure that I will get all the hands down. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. Thank you. Awesome. All righty. So I'm going to lower all the hands and keep my eyeballs on that. So everybody, any other discussion? I'm just checking on the chat here if there's any questions that people have. I know I've got my team here behind me that are helping me out. So
you have to remind everyone, Zandra, that the process, mover, seconder, discussion, and then someone can call a question, so it moves it into a vote.
Thank you, Mina. I appreciate that. I'm looking on too many screens. So as Mina said, that's what we're looking for. We had our mover and seconder. Then what happens is we move into discussion. So I'll call for discussion. So any questions, ideally, if we can get them in the chat box, that would be great. Then anyone, I'll ask 3 times, I'll do a call, but you also have the ability to call question, which means that you force the vote so that we don't have to wait 3 times. So if anybody, you just want to pop it in and say question in the Q&A box, we will keep an eye on it, or we'll both be keeping an eye on both of the boxes. So again, we'll have a mover, the seconder, we'll have discussion, then I will call 3 times, or any member can call question, and that's all you have to say to push the motion to a vote. All right, so I'm going to ask, if I don't see any other questions, will someone call question? And feel free to just put your hand up. Thank you. I saw that. If anyone wants to, I saw that hand go up. That might be easier. If you just want to put your hand up to call question. Anybody there? I'll call it again. Any other discussion on the motion? Question. Excellent. I've had question called by Candace George. Please, everyone, submit your vote on the poll, whether you are for yes, no, or an abstention.
Can everyone see the poll okay?
Everybody?
Or is there anybody who can't see the poll? How long is the poll up for, Zandra? How many seconds?
Well, it's on a counter, so we don't have to shut it. But what we're looking at is trying to get, we've got 40% of our crowd has voted. So I would say, knowing is your, and would you say that your voting process is 50% plus one?
Of the attendance, yes.
That's what we're looking right now. So we are at 48% have voted. We have 87% in favor. So we'll just give everyone a few more moments here to put your vote in. I think we can give it maybe a 5-minute time limit. We're at 4 minutes and 6 seconds.
Mark Lewis says, I accidentally ticked it. I've done that as well when I had to do an online poll, was part of a meeting, and I learned.
All right. Anybody that's just rejoining, we are just voting on resolution, a whole bunch of numbers. I won't read those. Subject change of language in the Carrick County Tribal Council bylaws and constitution to include no gender bias. The screen is up now. And we got a couple of Q&A here. Michelle can't see the poll. So I don't know if we can have a hand count. We've got Jessica can't see the poll. We're just checking on this for you folks, and we may have to get you to, at the very least, what we may do, and I'm stepping over, is getting you to signal to myself or Mina privately in the chat, if you're able to let us know what your vote is, if I have any technical people that can provide support.
So I'm sure that some technical folks are reaching out to Michelle and Jessica right now to help them.
All right, so at this point, we have 58% of our attendees voted. We have an overwhelming majority at this point of 85% or 39 of our people who have voted that have voted in favor for carrying this motion. And the number's growing, we're up to 61%. Anybody who isn't able to, if you could please, the technical team will be sending you the poll and keeping track of you. I see another one here. Where the poll is it should have just jumped up onto your screen. So maybe it got minimized at the bottom of your screen. All right, sorry to belabor this, folks. We just want to make sure that we get as many people to get through the first one so that it makes it easier to get through the second one, the further on ones. All right, so technical people, if you can just keep an eye on the eye on things. All right. Say the last two numbers. Okay, thank you. I was just getting direction. I don't have to say all the numbers. So Chief Mina, I'm gonna look for you to assist me in this as well. We are at 87%, 66% of the people online have voted. And again, the number is increasing. We have 46 of 78 people that have voted in favor of passing this resolution.
Is that the 50% threshold? Are we past a 50% threshold? 50 plus 1% threshold?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are 46 out of 77. And now 47. We've got 47 out of 77. So yes, we are at a threshold that we have well over 50% plus one now have voted.
39 people is the 50%. So it has to be 39 plus one.
Excellent. Then I would say that this motion has been passed and carried. And now I'm going to have the poll ended and we will share the results. Thank you, everyone. So there are the results. 87% of the people that were eligible to vote in this, of the 77, 47 of them voted yes. 3 of them voted no. 4 of them abstained from the vote. So motion is carried. All right, so now we will bring up the next resolution. Thank you, everybody. Sorry, we need a big round of applause for that. Way to go, everybody. That's amazing. Thank you. So now resolution number 5. I'm just been told I only have to read the last 2 numbers. So subject, executive assistant hiring practice. Whereas the current practice for hiring the EA resides with the newly elected CSTC tribal chief. And whereas the CSTC membership wish to have the CSTC disbanded, this current practice of the hiring of the EA and post the position as a full-time permanent position of the CSTC. Therefore, be it resolved that the CSTC membership approve the CSTC general manager to hire a permanent full-time EA to assist the tribal chief and the general manager as a full-time EA position that is posted as per CSTC policy. I am looking for a mover and a seconder. Renee John has moved. Doris Louis has seconded.
Doris Lewis.
Lewis. Okay, my apologies. Sorry. Thank you. In our community, it's Louis, so my apologies. So thank you. So we've got a mover and a seconder. We are now moving this into discussion. Is there any questions, comments that you would like to? All right, I'm just keeping an eye on things. So any discussion? I'm going to call for a third time. Any discussion? Okay, I see. All right. So I see a couple of questions. I see 2 here. Thank you so much. And I don't know, Mina, if you want to answer this, or I'll just, it says, does CSTC not have a chief's administrative committee?
Not currently. I'm just typing the response in here.
Thank you so much.
Don George has a question.
Don, would you like to? I see that you haven't typed it in the Q&A, so I'm going to ask you to speak and unmute yourself.
Sorry, what's the question again?
She just said she had a question. That's all. Sorry. So I'm asking, I've allowed her to speak. So Dawn, if you would like to ask your question.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, yay. Happy to be here. Will the CSTC policy be available for us to because I know it's referenced to CSTC policy, but we can't see what that policy is, and does it include preference will be given to an Aboriginal person, specifically one of the CSTC members, as a first priority for hiring practice?
Yes, most of our positions are like that anyway. We look to hire internally first within the CSTC communities, and this hiring practice is not currently in our bylaws and constitution. It's a practice that's been going on. It was in an earlier version of a bylaws and constitution, but the practice has been carrying forward. And you know, with legal HR issues that are out there, you need to put these things in writing, and that's the whole goal here, is to put this in writing and into our bylaws and policies, and just to make sure it's in there so that it becomes a fair and transparent process to the CSTC membership and those applying for the position.
Great, thank you, Dawn. Just looking in the Q&A box. Would this be, and I know that it's just, it's Jackie, or sorry, Mina's responding to it, but I'll just, if John, if you want to speak to it too, would this be a new job posting if this passes, and does CSTC have funds to pay for this position?
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Tribal Chief, or did you want me to?
No, there's a budget for this. It's not a new position. It's a current position. It's changing the hiring practice around, because currently this person doesn't, it's just brought in by a newly elected tribal chief, and the person kind of leaves with with that tribal chief when the tribal chief goes, or stays on for the next one. I think General Manager John Lewis is just looking at a more professional standard to implement in the hiring and ongoing management of the role.
Two more questions here. How will this position be fair and non-biased if posted?
We have our practices, and we keep within the HR guidelines of not only the province, but federal as well when we post the position. And of course, we do put in our language that preference will be given to First Nations ancestry. And that's basically how you have to kind of word that kind of thing in an HR, from an HR perspective. And then we'll have a committee that does the hiring as well.
Excellent. Thank you. And then just there's a procedure here, just a point of order here, just asking, should the person's name making the resolution be published here?
I'm not sure if that's been a previous practice.
Okay, thank you. Just another last point here, John Lewis, I think the numbers in attendance does not include or reflect all 7 voting member nations, question mark?
Yeah, and with respect to that, I mean, the numbers are the numbers, and when you look at voting practices with INAC and all of the governing bodies of the First Nations, it is who is present at the meeting, and we are going by the 50% one there. So it's current practices that are out there already. It's very tough to get all the community members involved in this. We recognize that, and we have to go with what we have at the meeting.
Yeah, and just to add to that, the team that, all of the technical folks involved here reached out profusely to all of the communities, encouraging participation at this. So all of the communities are represented here to some degree. I wish we could have had at least 20 from each community. That would have been ideal. However, that just isn't right now.
All right. I would say I'm going to call a final call for any other discussion. And that'll be our third and final time. So if we could have the poll put up, please, for this resolution number 5. It is now time to vote regarding the executive assistant hiring practice. So if you could all start dropping those votes for us. Thank you. You guys are getting good. Look at this. Ooh. Keep those votes coming, people. Excellent. All right. We have 70% of our participants have voted. 46. Oh, we're going up still. Alrighty, I'm just going to look at this. 71% have voted. I'm just going to give a few more moments. Thank you. 41. All right. Well, just so you know, folks, where we're at now, my team is putting me in here. We have the right numbers that we need. So 41, we need 4 votes for this, yes votes. We have 47 yes votes in favor of accepting this. So I'll give you just another minute. We're just at 1. If we'll just give everyone 30 more seconds just to make sure. I don't want to be too fast, sorry guys, but make sure that we have you in there, that anybody who does want to vote can vote. I see a hand up, and I'm just wondering if you'd be able to, I see your hand up, Charlene. Would you be able to drop your Q&A into the, or in your, if you have a question, into the Q&A, just because we're right in the middle of voting here right now. All right, I'm going to give 2 minutes here because we are at our threshold. So with a vote, we have had 76% of our participants voting. 48 out of 80 have said yes. So 79% have voted yes in support of this. So please, we have just passed another motion, another resolution. Thank you. So 48 out of our 80 members that are currently online now voted in favor. 4 voted no, 9 voted abstain. Thank you so much. All right, we are going to move on to our next resolution, resolution number 6, transparency, subject transparency and communications. Whereas the duly elected councillors of each of the CSTC communities may not receive all information of the CSTC affairs. Whereas for further transparency, the CSTC wishes to open the lines of communication between the CSTC and all elected chiefs and councillors of the CSTC communities. Therefore, be it resolved that the CSTC utilize all forms of legal communication to keep the duly elected chiefs and councillors of the CSTC communities appraised of certain communications. I need a mover and a seconder. I see Alberta Charlie has put her hand up to move it. Can I get a seconder? Renee John has seconded the motion. Thank you, everybody. I'm going to lower all of your hands again. The floor is now open for discussion. All right, please, we're going to keep an eye out. And just a question here, is this not the position of the communications officer? Or I guess the role of the communications officer? John, would you like to speak to that?
Yeah, previously communications were only happened between the CSTC and the directors are the chiefs of each community, and we recognizing that I guess that the chiefs are always busy. You know, this resolution speaks to keeping the rest of the councillors of the communities informed of appraised of certain communications within the CSTC. That's how I see this. You're on mute, Sandra.
Thank you, John. I'm just going to peek my head into here. What are some examples of information that is not shared?
Do you want me to answer that, John? Give you a break?
Sure.
You know, any kind of business that arises at the tribal council, like the agreements, minutes, motions, resolutions, we'd like to ensure that there is an approved mandate to ensure membership is available to receive all of these, and yeah, so in a timely manner. So we'd like to be able to send these directly to councils or community message boards or what have you. We're just trying to create more standardized approaches to ensuring communications is stronger, and that would be, you know, a lot of that would be the communications officer and the general manager and the EA and myself as well.
Thank you. I'm just going to come up here. We've got a bunch of them down here, so I'm just going to try to, again, just the question about, is that not why CSTC has a communications officer? And I'm just going to read, because there's one that says AGA agreements, hiring practices and positions. And then finally, it's just all from one person. And then my concern, out of 7 nations, there is only 58 people logged in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's I have to say that last year's AGA, I think there might have been 20 people that were in attendance. So kind of feels that there would be, you know, glad to see there's 58 here this year, because last year there wasn't that many, and as you can see, we had a few resolutions that came out of that meeting too. So not sure what else to say on that. Read some of this stuff.
And then just a comment here, and overall, just so everyone knows that we have 80 people in the room. So we have had throughout the day a number, but just that we've been really keeping an eye on that to make sure that we've had decent numbers. So we were pretty excited with the 80. So I'm going to go. So I'll thank you. Okay. Here, should always be transparent between bands and CSTC. Why is it not? Seems like a lot is not shared. I get confidentiality, but more openness with members of communities.
Yeah, again, we're kind of looking at standardizing the communications between the tribal council and the membership, the member communities, chief and councils, administrations, and members. Because there really isn't that. There's some gaps in there we're trying to fill.
All right, I think that's all of my questions right now. So I am going to ask now for a mover and a seconder for this motion. Moved by Patricia Lewis, seconded by Beverly Best. Discussion? Floor is open for discussion.
What nation is Beverly Best?
Thank you. Beverly, if you could note, or I'm just going to ask you, if I'm just going to allow you to talk here, Beverly, if you can just let us know.
My former name was Beverly Isaac, and I'm from Stellatan First Nations.
Thank you.
Beverly.
My apologies. I'm going to be asking folks as I call on you. I've been meaning to do that, and sorry to my technical team. I've been forgetting to ask what everyone's home community is. So I'll be getting better at that. All right, so I've got a mover, a seconder. We have discussion now. So now I'm going to ask for any other discussion for a second time or first time, sorry. I got some hands here. Okay, I got some hands coming up here. I'm gonna lower all hands, and then anyone with a question, if you could put it back up again. Sorry, I just took them down from the voting. So if you have a question, please put your hand up. We've got some, oh goodness, okay. We've had question called already. Okay. Anne's got a question. Jackie has a question. Brian has a question. I'm going to see here. I don't know. I'm going to get these two other questions. So it's just a comment. There's a big gap. Okay, you want, okay, sorry, Anne. Thank you. Anne has already called question. So there we go. Thank you, Anne. That's hilarious. We're having a laugh out here. So question has been called on the motion on the floor. It is time to launch the poll for resolution number 6, please. So everyone, please start voting now. Thanks, Anne, for keeping me on top of things. My brain's getting a little slow right now.
Mine's ready for a nap.
Right? Thank you, Mina. Oh my gosh. It's so funny that this is so cool. I said, I feel like we're almost like this is how those virtual Academy Awards and things that work out, right? I'm like, ooh, hey there, how you doing? So, all right. Checking here. All right. We're just going up. We've got, I'm just checking to see what my number is here. And I know everyone's giving me the number. Thank you. I know my team is here and I think we are almost at our number. Okay. All righty, we are 70% have voted. I'll just give you a few more, believe that our threshold for this one, somebody give me one here. I'm looking at 3 different places here, so thank you. I'll just give it till 2 minutes just so we have a final, but anybody else that would like to vote, please, you've got 30 more seconds. Final 20 seconds for voting. Please submit your vote. All right, we're in the final seconds here. Feel the Jeopardy timer going, but just to make sure in case anyone stepped away.
I think you still have Beverly Best up on the panel.
Oh, okay. I'm going to Disable chat. Thank you. The poll is closed. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. We have another passed motion. So 84% of our voters voted in favor of the resolution number 6. 11% or 6 people voted no. 3 or 5% abstained. Thank you so much. The motion is, the resolution is passed. So we'll move on to the next one. Resolution number 7. And when I call on you to first and second, my apologies, I'll try to get over to you, but if you wouldn't mind, to the people that are moving and seconding, if you could just let us know what your nation is in the chat box or in the Q&A or chat box, that would be wonderful. I'll try to pull you up again, but sometimes it's just quicker if you can let us know. We really appreciate it. Thank you. Resolution number 7. Subject, chiefs and/or quorum of councillors as signatories. Whereas the current practice is for only the elected chiefs of each of the communities can sign off on Indigenous Services Canada, ISK funding applications and other documents. Whereas to expedite the signing of ISK and other documents, the CSTC members approve the elected chief, a quorum of council and/or an identified proxy from each CSTC community to approve and sign for the elected chief of each community on ISK and other documents as required by the CSTC. Therefore, be it resolved, the CSTC members wish to enact a CSTC constitutional bylaw that includes that the elected chief, a quorum of council and/or an appointed proxy can also sign off on ISK and other important documents required for the CSTC. Can I get a mover and a seconder for this resolution? Chanel Holmes moved it. If you could put your nation, please, Chanel, in the chat box. And seconded by Rosalita Lewis. If you could also put your nation in the chat box. Oh, thank you guys. This is working wonderful. Thank you so much.
I need a bathroom break. I'll be right back.
No problem. All righty. So everybody, discussion is open on the floor to this. And I'm going to be checking in. Oh, thank you guys. Look at how awesome they are. They just all jumped in there. So okay, so question, John, I'll put this to you. Up to what amount?
Like the current ISK documents, like for funding, can range anywhere from, like, say, the COVID funding, for instance, could be $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to our as you see in our audit, our operating could be $350,000 per annual for the services of CSTC to move forward. So it's on a lot of other smaller stuff I can sign things off, but there's certain agreements like ISK that those type of agreements would need the chief or the director, and I believe that's how this resolution is speaking to.
Okay. Question, would that impact member nations applications?
Negative, no. When the CSTC applies, there's certain amount of funding that tribal councils can apply for through ISK, and there's funding sources that bands are allowed to apply for. And usually if the tribal council is applying for funding, it's usually grouped. So where there would be 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, or all 7 nations agreeing to apply for a pot of money.
All right. Are there any other discussion on this motion, this resolution? Any other discussion? And feel free, if anyone, you can also call quorum. I'm just checking my chat box. Okay. Here's another one. How would CSTC, I got 2 points here. How would CSTC, okay, thank you. People are answering fast for me here too. So when we get audited as a band and as under a CSTC band, who is held responsible if someone other than the chief and council have power?
Well, currently the bands have their own audit process, and then same with the CSTC. CSTC, we have our own auditing process where we are audited for the programs and services and the funds that we get, that we sign off on, from whether it's ISK an NGO, non-government organization, those funds come in every year. We get audited for those funds that come in and how those funds are spent. So so that we're held accountable for those dollars that come in. It's the same as each band. The bands that apply for their funding, the CSTC bands, if they apply for funding from the government or an NGO, they also get audited for those funds that come in and are accountable for those funds as well.
Thank you. Just checking here. Okay, would you work with the community's EOC?
I would definitely, that's part of my responsibility here, is to work with all of the CSTC bands. If they need some assistance writing proposals to access funding, I can help with that as well. I just wrote a proposal to Northern Development Initiative Trust. If I need help outsourcing some, if I get flooded with some funding applications for proposals, I've just applied for some funding from NDI for assistance to write proposals. So the CSTC bands are, if somebody comes to me and say, hey, we've got this great idea, can you find some money for that? I can help with that process, and I can also help write the proposal or get outsource that to get it written for the bands.
All right, another couple of questions here. Is this motion only to cover funding through ISK, or is this for all funding agencies that CSTC applies to?
What I see is in the motion, it speaks to ISK funding applications and other documents. So this would be ISK, the way I read it is ISK funding. And, if there's large documents or large funding sources where I can't sign off on it, then it needs a quorum of the chiefs, then it would go to them to sign. And if a chief is unavailable, then a quorum of council can sign it off, or a proxy can sign it off. That's how I read this.
Okay. One other question. So, or a point of clarification, I guess, or understanding. So you're basically saying once CSTC appropriates their funding and the band gets the funding, it depends on the band to spend it accordingly?
No, this is when the CSTC applies for funding. So, for instance, the agreement between the tribal council and ISK, there's a certain amount of funding, approximately $350,000, that's for the operations of ISK on an annual basis. And sometimes it's difficult for directors because they're always busy all the time. They don't have time to look at every agreement and every email that comes across, and we understand that. And sometimes it's easier if there's at least one or more signatories that we can chase down to get a signature for an agreement or another document.
All right, I'm just checking on my boxes here. Just a couple of more statements here. Just someone had stated they didn't agree, or they didn't agree with it because they're not sure what the intention of it is. And I think you clarified it was just to make sure that you guys get your funding proposals in time.
Yeah, it's not only funding proposals, but there's reporting too. Sometimes there's reporting that requires all of the directors' signatures, and if a quorum of council can sign off on a report, that expedites our processes here. And if ISK is asking for a report, they give timelines and deadlines too, and we need to be within those timelines and deadlines. And the way I see the request for this to be written is that it's easier to chase more than one signatory down. It's like same thing as when a band or a tribal council has half a dozen signatories for their check runs rather than two. It's easier to chase down more people to get a check written off than it is looking for two people all the time. You got more options that way. It's the similar situation, just a different, it's not checks, it's funding applications and documents and reports.
All right. right. Are there any other questions? I'm just going to keep an eye on this box here. I just want to get up. Okay. Make sure that I'm, there was just a comment, leave this quorum of chiefs to approve. They are the directors of CSTC. And then another one just says, not all chief and council is always around. If it's a check compared to a PO, that's different. So just a comment. All right, so I'm just going to get some advice here. John or Mina, I don't know, I'm just going to ask you folks here. Sorry, I just got to send a message. Thank you. Somebody's keeping an eye on that box. We just see that we may not have a quorum of the directors. We've had a couple that have had to drop off. So we are just looking and having a question here. We can see 3 of our leadership is on still. So we just need some direction from our travel chief or from our general manager, John. And I know, Mina, you're just checking, so no worries. If you can we'll just hold this thought for a minute. If anybody wants to stretch that body a little bit as well, we're going to be, just to let you know, we will be doing some more door prizes, the big ones, at the conclusion of our business here. And hopefully we can have what we need to get done here. Just see, we're just all checking in here, so my apologies. So
so we're missing Beverly.
We have 4. There's Walter, Rodney Teed, Chief Maureen,
On Walter.
Alan Lawrence.
Yeah.
Thank you, Victoria. Always our voice of reason out there. And I just want to say a big I love you to Victoria, because I think that she's one of the untapped gems in the organization. She kind of is always behind the scenes. So we're pretty happy to have you here. Thank you for that. All right, then. So I'm going to check my question box for a last time and see if there's any other questions. And then we need to, this is going to be my 3rd call for questions. And make sure I don't want to get rid of anybody, but this is the 3rd call. If no one is calling question, 3rd and final call for comments. Awesome. We all love Victoria. Good comment. All right, then. Question has been called. So it is time. Please drop that poll for us. And it is time to vote. And if anyone's wondering, we're trying to rush because we are losing some of you, because we know we are getting close to 4:30. So please just know that we're really trying to get these in for you so that we can get you onto the rest of your business. All right, still seeing those votes coming up. I'd like to just give it at least a 2-minute call, or 2 minutes. So we're at just about to a minute here. So feel free to keep those votes coming in. Keep those votes. Geez, I'm excited to see 100% voted. That's what I'm going for. Another 30 seconds. Right now, I believe, what's our half? The half of 77. We're almost there. We'll just give another 20 seconds for voting here. And then just to break it up a bit, we're just going to do a couple of quick draws for you, just to break this up a little bit and make sure if anybody has to tune out, we don't want you to miss out on, it's a hard decision, whether it's prizes or whether it's voting on these things. So our apologies, folks. We're just wanting to make sure. So we're just going to wrap up voting here. Right now, we have a positive vote for resolution number 7. 46 or 78% are in favor of this. 8 or 14% are not in favor, and 5 or 8% have abstained. So resolution number 7 has been passed. And now what I'm going to ask is if we can just take, we're going to just take a quick little 2-minute break here. We just love to get a few more prizes out if we can. So I'm going to turn it over to Audrey in Alberta. Sorry to surprise you guys like that, but we're just figuring out a little technical thing here behind the scenes.
I love surprises. It's okay.
Can we, oh, sorry, you're talking. How many resolutions are left? Motions?
We have done 4 out of 11 resolutions. Yeah. But if we're going to do some prizes here, do we want to try to get through all of the rest, or should we save some for the very end and just do a couple right now? Thoughts?
Sure,
Anybody?
for sure. Also, just while you're doing that too, I just want to announce from Norman Charlie that his daughter Trina Newski is in need of a kidney. So if people can get tested for a match, thank you. I guess we'd have to know what her blood type is. Norman Newski, if you could leave us with a contact email or something, then we'll be able to get this to you.
Send me an email to communicationsofficer@cstc.bc.ca, and I'll make sure that's posted on our channels as well, so people who aren't here know about it as well. Alrighty, what are we giving away? Let me see. The next thing we're giving away, Alberta, is a $100 prepaid visa from none other than CSTC. That's us, Carrier-Sud County Tribal Council. So let's spin that wheel. Sherry Tibbett, and I feel like I know Sherry's here, but I need to just confirm that. Hang on, I've got my screen's not configured right. Sherry, if you're here, you can put up your hand. I see you, Sherry. There you are. Congratulations, Sherry. You just won $100 prepaid visa from CSTC, and I'm just going to put your name here, and I've already got your contact information, so that saves me a step as well. The next thing we're giving away is a 1-night stay in a premium suite at the coast. And I'm going to ask that you please take me in your suitcase with you, because that sounds awesome. Let's spin the wheel. It's worth $150. Adriana Lewis. I want to pronounce Adriana, that's what my family would call me in Mexico. I see you here and your hand is up. So I'm going to put your name down here, Adriana, and I am going to get in touch with you to make sure that we have your contact information so that we can get your gift to you. This next gift is really, really special. It is a beaded necklace made by Sheena TG. I don't know if you have that on your desk, Alberta, but it is stunning.
No, I can go get it, but
no, that's okay. Let's not have you run away. Let's just describe it as it's an absolutely gorgeous handmade beaded necklace in really beautiful kind of rose tones. Yeah, just stunning. So let's spin the wheel. Mark Lewis. Mark, you're here. I feel like maybe you just had your name up for something, but you're here. You haven't won anything yet. So guess what? You just won the beaded necklace made by Sheena TG. Congratulations. I think we might have your contact information, but if not, I'll reach out to you and we'll try to get your email before you go so that I can make sure that your prize can be claimed. We've got our last 2 big gifts here. Are we going for it? Are we doing this?
No, we gotta.
We're waiting. We're saving them for the last. That way we don't lose anybody.
So we're going to hold off on these last 2 then.
It won't take long to do the last 2, no?
All right. So I'm just going to tell everybody so you know what you're holding on for. The last 2 prizes are an iPad mini worth $500 and 2 return flights to Vancouver valued at $1,400, $1,400 gift. So we will save those for the end. Don't go anywhere because there's some kind of play on words here I can use about taking a trip to Vancouver and not going somewhere, but it's been a long day. So I'll just hand it back over to you.
My life. Unmute yourself, Zandra. Unmute yourself. I'm part of a meme here. I know it. So, so thank you so much, everybody, for your patience. We just want to make sure because we had a few people saying that they were getting off right now. So we just wanted to make sure we had a few more prizes. So we are going to get back onto our resolutions here. And there was just a question, are you going to include everyone back into the big draws or no? I believe that everything, it's just a one prize per person today, is it not? Or
That's correct, Sandra. If you've already won, you know, we've got to spread the wealth, and somebody else is lucky to get on that big prize. So
thank you so much, ladies. You did a fantastic job. Let's get that resolution back up and get back on track.
Have a quorum?
Yes. Okay. We have just confirmed that we have quorum. I believe, is that everybody giving me the okay? Looking at my team there. Yes, team, do we have quorum?
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you so much. All right, resolution number 8, and we're going to keep plowing through these, you guys. You realize we have 7 more resolutions, and it's not to discourage communication, but if we can get those comments in the question and answer box, that would be great, because then we could just reel them off. So thank you. Resolution number 8, subject, budgets and work plans to have a director motion passed before every fiscal year. Whereas CSTC department budgets and work plans must have a director motion pass all CSTC said budgets and work plans before each fiscal year. Therefore, be it resolved, before each fiscal year begins on April 1st, every CSTC department budget and work plan must be approved via director motion before the end of the previous fiscal year, March 31st. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Renee John, seconded by Charlotte Monica Charlie. Renee, we have your, and I'm not sure if everyone has, but Charlotte Monica Charlie, if you could put your nation in the chat box, we'd really appreciate that. All right, so discussion is open. Yes, there you go. Thank you. All right. Questions? Any question here? Any question? Oh, I saw a hand there. And yes, I know. I never try to say that. I never try to create the drama, my friend. I'm just trying to make sure that everybody knows and that we don't lose all of our participants off the line. So thank you for that correction. Discussion, it is not like this already. Isn't it like this already? What is the process now, John?
Well, it should be like this. I think the way I read this, it's just better that it's written in stone so that we've got it's something. There's a document that's in the bylaws and constitution that says that this should be done. It's nothing in there right now, and it's something that should be put in there.
All right. I'm going to check Rosalita. You have your hand up. Rosalita Louis. Now I'm doing it wrong. Lewis, isn't it? I'm going to ask you to unmute if you have a question, Rosalita.
I just pressed it by accident.
Okay. No problem. Thank you so much. All right. Any other questions? Just checking. Department heads. Sorry, Mina, you're muted.
Funding.
Sorry.
I'm responding. So department heads, yes. So this is again trying to create more structure, solidified structure and processes, deadlines, dates, etc. And then this is going to be implemented. So we're not kind of having to play it by ear and see when we can get stuff done. It's been one of my driving needs here is to ensure we have scheduled work plans, scheduled strategic plans, and that we are working on a schedule. And so this is just part of that.
All right. Another question here. So how does this affect your member nations where money is distributed to how they distribute to community?
It doesn't have an effect as far as sorry, John, I should let you answer. It doesn't affect, if anything, it'll be more timely. if anything. We're just trying to create the more timely work.
Okay. So some of the, just a question, is this a requirement already?
As John mentioned, I think, John, what did you say to that?
Yeah, there's nothing written in stone on it, but this is a resolution that would definitely help streamline some processes here, that's for sure. And getting funds out the door, so.
All right. And then just a comment, if you want transparency, this would not be going about it by us. So just some comments, making sure. Any other comments? Second, any other discussion? Third and final call, any other discussion? Discussion has been closed. If we could drop the, a question has been called or closed, if we could drop that poll. So everybody, ready, set, go, time to vote. All right, folks, you have got to, you've already been voting like crazy here, and we already have enough to pass this resolution. So we just want to I'll give 20 more seconds here to vote. But as I said, we already have a threshold. Question has been called. Thank you so much. Yes, it was called. Thank you. And I'll just let it count down here. 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you so much. The motion has been passed with 50 out of, sorry, we've got 79 on, 50 of 77 participants that are out of it. Sorry, and I know I said that wrong. I'm just going to say 50%, 86% voted yes. Thank you. It's closed. All right, next one. All right, resolution number 9, subject, Prince George College sale. Whereas Prince George College is for sale, and whereas many Carrier and Secani members have attended Prince George College in the past, therefore be it resolved that the Carrier-Secani Tribal Council work with Claytley Tenay Nation and the Prince George College to work on an agreement to return the Prince George College to Carrier-Secani Nations for cultural and language institutional purposes. May I get a mover and a seconder? Michelle Pierre moves. If you could put your nation in the chat box. Adriana, and I'm going to blow it. I just did it. Is Louis or Louis? My apologies if I said it. I just blew that last one. So if you could also put your nation in the box. Thank you, everybody. We've got a mover and a seconder. I am now opening the floor to discussion around this resolution. Thank you, Adriana. Louis. Any discussion? Okay, I see Anne Ketlow is on. I'm going to allow you. You've got your hand up, Anne. I'm going to and then ask you to unmute. Thank you, Anne. You have the floor.
I speak in favor of this motion. I know in the past that millions of dollars have gone to the Catholic Church, and regardless of the number of different nations that attended Prince George College, I just think that this is some serious work in front of us. And I know dealing with the Catholic Church, it would be hard to get any funding from them. So I definitely speak in favor of this motion. It's a long time coming. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anne. All right, just checking here. Oh, we just got some positive. Absolutely amazing. I love this idea. Any other comments, questions, discussion around resolution number 9? Just a couple of things. Okay, if all member, I'll just read the comments. If all member nations are on board, why not think about it? As many members of CSTC has attended. Is it possible to ask for records was another one. And then finally, it's too old, just sell it to the highest bidder.
Copies.
Of today's mail. This one you want to see.
Just some discussion around there. I think that's all. So I'm just going to ask for a third and final call. I don't want to jump ahead of anybody. Third and final call for any discussion around this. All right, CSTC, buy it. You got direction. All right, third and final call, last call, 4 questions around this. All right, and we will officially close discussion, and please launch the poll. You may now start voting now. Oh my gosh.
I was looking back at previous AGAs and resolutions. I think 11 resolutions is going to be like one of the highest amount of resolutions, which is great.
And we're moving through them quickly, Travel Chief. It's wonderful because our amazing members out there that are voting, we have another resolution passed. We have hit 50 vote, 82% have voted in favor of passing this resolution, and that hits our threshold. So thank you. You can see the results for it. 52 people voted in favor, 7 voted against, 4 abstained. A resolution is carried. All right. Resolution number 10. Subject, Carey County Tribal Council membership. Participate in the discussion of the future of the Tribal Council and possibly creating a new entity. Whereas Carey County Tribal Council has been in operation since 1979 and was created to advocate and represent the interests of its member nations as well as provide technical and professional services. The CSTC has not undergone a substantial reorganization to address the changing needs and desires of member nations. There have been previous attempts to update the CSTC with no results. Therefore, be it resolved, an immediate summary report of all attempts to update or reorganize CSTC is provided by the Tribal Chief and Administration and available to the membership within 30 days of this resolution being brought into effect. The CSTC Tribal Chief and Administration ensure funding is available to implement this resolution. A governance and working group of CSTC and CSFN members is established. Final and interim reports are provided within the timeline presented to the full resolution. This is there is more detail to this. This is the meat and potatoes of the resolution. If you would like to see a greater detail, the full resolution can be accessed at this link that you see before you, if you want to refer to it a bit more. All right, thank you. And you've got it in your chat box as well. If you want to just click on the link, it has been put into the chat box. So I am going to ask for a mover and a seconder to this. I see Ann Ketlow has moved, seconded by Patricia. I'm not going to blow it. Patricia L. Sorry, Lewis. My apologies, guys. I keep going back. Thank you, Lewis. Thank you so much. So I've got my mover and my seconder. The floor is now open for discussion. All right, let's see here.
Anne didn't move it. She's asked.
I'm so sorry again. It just jumped. Sorry, Anne, your hand was up before and I was going for a mover and a seconder. So my apologies. If I could get another person, I'm going to bring your hands down here. Sorry, Anne, it just happened so quickly. Your hand came up before we finished. Doris Lewis. Is that right? Yeah. Doris, you are seconding. So we'll just move up our seconder up to the mover, and Doris will be our seconder. And I'm hoping that's all right with you, Doris. Excellent. All right. And then we had our hand up here again for Anne. I'm going to bring Anne on, and then we will go to the question and answer box. Your floor, Anne.
Thank you. My concern is within the Pathways Agreement 2.0 that there's the on-ramping, which opens the door for the invitation for other nations. Again, this is an opportunity for other nations to join CSTC and revamping, I guess, CSTC through Pathways 2.0. I think that is something, the on-ramping is an opportunity for CSTC to grow back in numbers again. And also, just a heads up, back in the 90s, late 90s, there was the restructuring is such a dirty word within our nations, because we had tried to do the restructuring, and it ended up that CSTC ended up paying hundreds of thousands of dollars regarding that, and it wasn't done in a healthier manner.
Mhm.
But so just reflecting on that, I just think that with the Pathways 2.0 right now, CSTC has an opportunity to grow in numbers, and yet we've still got to work on that wording. When other nations join within CSTC, it has to be CSTC and not CSTC or the First Nations group, which is separate, which is what Nakaslii is part of. And I'm half Nakaslii, so I love Nakaslii, but there has to be a rewording for that when we do the on-ramping, that they're part of CSTC and not the First Nations group. Thank you.
Perhaps I think that's Zandra, a friendly amendment that this work to include the to work on ramping for other First Nations through the Pathways Agreement as well in this work.
Okay, thank you. I'm just gonna go, I wanted to check. Okay, I've got another hand up, so hopefully we'll be able to hear Charlotte. Hopefully we'll be able to get you your sound a little bit better this time. So Charlotte.
Hello.
Hi there. What can we do for you?
I was just wondering what you guys are talking about, because it kept going too fast and stuff, and other people were talking.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Is there anything specific that you wanted to know, or just? Okay, no, she's muted. Okay. Did you have a specific question, Charlotte?
No, I was just listening on the conversation and all.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, Charlotte.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back here. Question and answer. Thank you. Do you want to speak to these ones, Chief Mina, or do you want me to read them out in the chat box? Or the question and answer box here?
Yeah, I'm just responding to as many as I can.
Thank you. I didn't know, so I'll just, I know she's typing in here and I'm just trying to have some speaking here too. So, okay. And I don't know if we just want to answer these ones by writing. Tribal Chief. Okay, just to kind of, okay, just some comments in the question and answer box more than anything. And then just a question about Nakaslii involvement. Are they not affected by PW2? So just a question if anybody wants to. I know that.
You want me to answer some questions? I'm back.
No worries, my friend, no worries. It just, oh, okay, it disappeared. Somebody answered one. More just comments. So thanks. How is CSTC going to? Somebody had answered, but it looks like it got answered. So just in regarding Nakaslii. Alrighty. I'm looking here and I don't see if there's any other questions or discussion around this resolution. Just checking chat here. Okay, good. All right, I'm going to have a third and final call for any discussion on the resolution. All right, I am closing discussion and requesting that the poll be put up. Please start voting now. Right, everyone, keep those votes coming in. Great job. You're doing wonderfully. All right, do we have a few more votes out there? We're just in our last minute or so of voting here. All right, everyone, let's keep those votes coming in. Just so you know, just to remember how to vote on the poll, clicking what your vote is. All right, we have 82%. I'm just going to give another 30 seconds and then we are going to close the poll. Still have 11 more people out there that were waiting. If you are one of those, please feel free to drop your votes into the voting box. All right, we'll have 10 more seconds here and then we're going to close the poll. All right, the poll is closed. 40 was the threshold for this vote, I believe, is what I was told. Is that the right one? Making sure who we have on. And the way the vote is, the resolution has been defeated. 39, we needed 40 people, 40 votes yes to pass this resolution. So the motion is defeated. So we will move on to our next motion. Thanks so much, everybody, for your patience. Resolution number 11, my apologies. I'm always using our motion term here, and I know it's resolution, so thanks for your patience. Subject, Carrier-Sick County Tribal Council makes a concentrated and collective effort to address matters of systemic racism. Whereas the Carrier-Sick County Tribal Council, as a representative body for the 7 CSTC nations, can stand as a collective voice against systemic racism and should represent member nations in matters of and responses to systemic racism. Therefore, be it resolved, the Carrier-Sick County Tribal Council formalizes an action plan to present to members to address matters of systemic racism directly and indirectly against individuals of the Kath and Sikanee descent and become a collective body for responses to systemic racism. I have a mover here from our thing. I'll put from Terry Lugie moved it. Norman Charlie seconded it. If I could have your nation stated in the chat box, it would be greatly appreciated. So Terry Lugie and Norman Charlie, please. And now we are open for discussion. Oh, goodness. Well, there you go. It is, let me see here. We have question called already. So thank you for that. So question has been called. If we could drop the poll in here, we can begin voting on this. So everybody go to the poll, please, and begin voting. Oh. Well, there you go, folks. We have got another resolution that has been approved overwhelmingly. Please close the poll. We have an overwhelming yes vote on this resolution. So thank you so much. Resolution number 11 is passed. Thank you. All right. We are on to our next one here. Thank you. Alrighty. Resolution number 12, subject, proposition to discuss changing tribal council name to better reflect true DeKalb territories, KOs, and bands. Whereas Carrie County isn't our true identity, and with present day reconciliation, opening discussion for a name change of the tribal council would give our present day elders strong confidence that our language will survive when they go back to our ancestors. Therefore, be it resolved, CSTC will open discussion with our board of directors and community members to start the process of a name change. Can I have a mover and a seconder for this? And if you could put your hands up, that really is more helpful. All right, Patricia Lewis and Doris Louis, and I know I mixed that up. Are they both Lewises? I'm just going through the top two people on the list here.
Are you sure this didn't come with a mover and seconder already?
I don't know. I haven't had any direction, so my apologies. Does anybody know if this has a mover and a seconder?
Mark Lewis, originally.
Right.
Okay, just double check. So I just know some of them have already, some of them don't have movers, and some of them have a mover, some of them don't, some of them have both mover and seconder. So just.
I've just had a request. Would Mark like to speak to this? And do we need a seconder for him, or if we already, does the seconder have to be in the room to be able to second this? If I could get some. Okay, I heard a mover. I'll second. Okay, Terry Lukey will second this motion if we just to make sure that we have everything in alignment. So, Mark, would you like to speak to this at all? I'm going to lower hands and then see if Mark will put his hand up if he would like to speak to it. No? Okay, I'm just checking here.
I see Walter Ward is called question.
Thank you. Excellent. That's what I was trying to do. Excellent. All right then, folks, we have question. Oh, Mark put his hand up, but we had question called. What would you say, Mina? Has question been called? I think you jumped in there quicker, but
No.
I don't know. We'll let Mark, if you wish to speak for a few moments to it. Mark, sorry, we didn't want to jump ahead of you where our eyes can only go in one place here. So if you would like to talk, let us know.
Hello, how you doing?
Hello, very good. Thanks, Mark.
Hi there. I believe in our people. I've always believed in our people, and I believe in my village where I'm from in Stalaku, and I believe in all of our people from Stalaku as well. And I think that the reason why that I wanted to express my intention of creating not a new entity, but to align our tribal council with with the true roots of where we're from, because the word carrier isn't really what we are. We're not carrier people. We've always been Dakath or Yinka Dene, and that in today's era, especially today's era with the COVID and how it's affecting our elders and residential school survivors, it's putting everything onto us intergenerational survivors to carry on the message. And one of the main intention that I had towards creating this resolution is this to start expressing our true mother tongue towards mainstream society, just like the school up at Kelly Road being changed to Bears Trail, that our tribal council should start expressing, our words as Dakath people, And then if anybody else in mainstream society doesn't know how to say our name, then it's time for them to start learning our tongue as well, because we were forced to learn their tongue. And now it's our time to just start reclaiming our identity and expressing it out there in a stronger method in the political landscape, that through truth and reconciliation and through accepting the apologies of the federal government for what residential school has done to our people, especially our people, since we're at ground zero for residential school at Lee Jack, that I feel that it was in my heart to put this out there. And if it's not ready for it, then sometime in the future, we should start re-looking into this, because all our elders today who carry the key to our mother tongue, they're all starting to get too old, and they're all starting to get thrown behind walls and in the hospitals and then dying on their own. And so that's why I put this motion out there, just so that we could start expressing ourselves to mainstream society as DECAF, and that we are always here and we always will be. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I just have a hand up here from Anne. I'm just going to allow you to talk and unmute, my friend.
Thank you, and thank you, Mark, for your words. But this is a learning opportunity for, as you've seen, the CSTC nightmare back in the All Clans gathering. We ran into a lot of problems with that because of the diversity of nations that are left within CSTC. And this resolution is also a conflicting resolution, because it took how many years for CSTC to build up our name, and that resonates of who we are, and we identify ourselves with the Carriacou County Tribal Council. Yeah, but the thing is, with the on-ramping, going back to the Pathways 2.0, we're looking to invite other nations back within the fold of CSTC, not Carriacou County First Nations, but CSTC. And right now, I don't think it's an opportunity for us to be messing or rewording anything, because we are looking to bring in more nations under the same umbrella as us through the on-ramping of pathways. So I just think that this resolution is a little premature. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Anne. Appreciate that. Let's see, I'm just looking in the chat box here. I'm just going to, and I've just been informed, and I'm going to be informing everyone. I'm just finalizing this. Excellent. Okay. Lots of great feedback in our question and answer box there. And what we're going to be saying right now, okay, I have two hands. I'm going to, Jessica, right now, do we want to continue the discussion? I just have noticed we don't have quorum anymore. We are not going to be able to pass any more resolutions at this time. So I just want some direction from leadership if we should continue with the final few Q&A hands that are up, or how you'd like to proceed.
Because I think we're time sensitive here, Chief Maureen Luggie is leaving. We will lose quorum after this resolution, so I suggest you just go into the vote, and then we can't do any further resolutions. We do not have quorum after this.
Thank you very much, Tribal Chief. All right, everyone, it's time to vote. So question has been called. We are going to drop this poll. Hang on a sec. I just got one thing here. I'm just looking to, okay. Unfortunately, folks, we just had realized that one of our other leaders has had to leave. So unfortunately, we do not have quorum at this time to be able to vote on this resolution. So having said that we no longer have quorum, we will be wrapping up the business. Oh, could you let us know the resolution? So what will be the process? We're just kind of having a discussion amongst the team in the backgrounds, what the process might be to carry forward. So
I mean, right off the top of my head, I would propose a half day, follow-up half day meeting. We'd have to give at least a good notice just to finish up the agenda items and the resolutions that were presented. And that's all I can suggest right now, is that we propose a half day one within maybe a certain period of time.
Okay. Just checking here. I'm just looking all of my.
Yeah, but our constantly, we can't continue a meeting and make decisions. We can have information, but no decisions without quorum.
A request has been made. Can we have a quick look at the ones being missed so that maybe people can be prepared for the next session, or it's up to you folks? You just give me your direction.
We can give information, but we just can't make decisions.
Okay, sounds good. Would you like us, for the sake of wrapping this up, do we want to just put those slides up quickly and I'll read through each one of them quickly without a vote? I won't be calling question or anything around it. It's just for information time. All right, and we'll get this down. Thank you. All right. Resolution number 12, and this will be, as Tribal Chief Mina Holmes said, we will be taking care of business at a further meeting down the road. This is just for people to have the info. Resolution number 12. Oh, and we can, we will get these, sorry, before I start. We will email all the remaining resolutions to all the participants as well. So do you want me to read these out now, or do we want to get people on their way?
How many more are there?
I think this was the last one.
Oh,
is it? I don't think it is. I think there's one more.
No, it's not. There are three more. Yeah.
Well, just put them up on the screen and
I'll read through them quickly here. So
read through them, just pop it up there, read the subject heading, and then we'll.
Okay, so resolution, just subject, proposition to discuss changing tribal council name to better reflect. Okay, we did that one already. We changed that. So that's the one that will be start at the top. So next, resolution number 13, subject, CSTC establishing a training center to help meet the needs of the youth.
Mm-hmm.
Next resolution. Resolution number 14, subject, becoming a role model, ending gender-based discrimination and creating safe spaces for future women in leadership. Next slide.
That's it. That's all the slides.
Oh,
well, it may be a shorter than a half day next time, or maybe, so that's great. Oh my gosh. Let me just see, put a few. Yeah, maybe put resolutions on website. Hi, everyone. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Just looking at that. Excellent.
So we'll post the information on the website, set up another half a day to finish off the rest of the resolutions, and maybe there might be more resolutions by then. I don't know.
Wonderful. All right. Should we do door prizes or Chief Mina's closing remarks first?
I'll just really quick and then we'll do door prizes.
That will be great. I want to keep them there. I'm worried if I give the prizes first, they won't stick around. So thank you so much, Tribal Chief.
Thank everyone here for staying here through the day. Really appreciate everybody's participation, all the questions and comments. It's important to have open lines of communication, and that's what we're really trying to build here, is better lines of communication, because the ones that we have really aren't working that well. And since we've had building more people into here, we're creating more better communications. And want to recognize the territory, Lake Tenay territory that we operate in, and all the elders that participated today. And thank you, shout out to all the technical folks. So much work. You guys did such an amazing job. I'm so happy with this. You're all working on the chat groups and behind the scenes. And Zandra, especially, thank you for your energy, for getting us through the day. I just love that energy. It's so helpful. And for all the staff that are here today, thank you very much. And more importantly, all of the members that are still here, we thank you for staying with us and seeing this through. And we apologize we've run out of time. I think the way forward is to have a half-day meeting. We'll have to put something out on the website and do all of this again, but just on a half day. And with that, my heart is full of love and gratitude and appreciation. Be safe, be kind. I know we will continue. We have lost some Simon John, not last night, the night before last night, which is a heavy blow again to our community. It's a hereditary leader of my clan, it's the Mushu clan. So be kind to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your wonderful words. And thank you for keeping me calm through this all, because as cool as a cucumber as I come off, it's very stressful when we're doing the work of our communities. And that's why, if it was for anybody else, when it's our own people, we are on pins and needles, hoping that we can do the best job that we can for you. So we just thank you for all of your kindness, the positive energy, the wonderful comments. Thank you so much for all of the lovely comments that we have coming up in the chat box. One of my dear friends, Susan Abraham, sends us some love there. Thank you so much, up from out there the way in Takla. Thank you. Let me see. And thank you, all of you. Okay, I'm just going to say it's time to get some. I want to say thank you. And I will say my final remarks after the door prizes, perhaps. So let's get down to the door prizes.
Just wanted to know if we needed a motion to close the meeting too.
Thank you. We need a motion to adjourn, but I don't know, do we want to do that after the final business? Oh, and I've already got a motion to adjourn there. Jessica, I hope that's you. Are you motioning to adjourn? I want to make sure she gives me a thumbs up there, so I'm not jumping on somebody with a question again. All right, I got to. Yes, Jessica. Yes, Jessica. Renee. Jessica jumped down here. Okay, so we're good. Yes, we've got a mover and a seconder there. So why don't we spin that prize wheel?
Let's do it, Alberta. We've got 2 more prizes left. For those of you who have stuck around, thank you. There's 69 people left, and I know we peaked at 81 people attending today, so really incredible show out. We're going to give away an iPad mini. So let's spin the wheel. Whoever's left, you got to be left in the room for this to work out too. So, you know, if you're sticking around, you deserve this prize. Let's spin the wheel.
Here we go.
You should be on radio too.
Didn't she? She looks like radio. She looks like a talk show.
Tiffany Felix. Let's see if you're here. Tiffany, you're here. Incredible. Thank you so much for sticking around right to the end. I'm putting your name here. I'm going to be reaching out to people. I will track you down somehow and get your contact informations. I actually have quite a big list of people who I still need to figure out your contact informations. So if you are able to reach out to me, my email is communicationsofficer@cstc.bc.ca, which is a bit of a tongue twister. If you send me an email, then I don't have to come and look for you, and we'll make sure that you get your prize. But otherwise, I will find you. I'm good at doing that. So let's spin the wheel for this last prize. This is the big one. This is the 2 return flights to Vancouver, $1,400 value. Let's spin the wheel.
Wow.
Yvonne George, are you here? Yvonne George is here. Congratulations. You just won a really awesome prize. Everybody won an awesome prize. Thank you so much for those of you who stuck around, especially from beginning to end. Yeah, very excited for you. I'll get your contact information.
Gosh, you guys, we did it. We are only 40 minutes over line. What I'd love for it, could all of our tech people, if you're comfortable, bring your face up. Let everybody show you, because you guys, the comments you've been saying is these folks are fabulous. And this has been freaky. It's been overwhelming. We are cutting new territory here. So we thank you so much for all of you, every one of you, staff people here, all of our wonderful leadership, our board members, all of our chiefs, our fabulous elders out there that are, that are sharing their knowledge and are keeping us on task. And as well, a final thank you to our sponsors, TC Energy, Coast Hotel Prince George, Capri Insurance Services, 1618 Inn, Can4, Forest Ecosystem Solutions Limited, RBC, City of Prince George, Gowling WLG, MNP Financial, and someone that I forgot to mention this morning, Radloff and Associates. And finally, we say a big we love you to every single one of you that have tuned in today. You're amazing. The guest speakers, like you guys, this is the place to be. So I thank you for bringing me a part of your circle. And I hope to be able to work with all of you again. So thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Congrats to all of our winners of the door prizes. And thank you, staff. You just made this such an amazing opportunity. Thank you, everybody. Have a great day. You're free to get back.
Great job.
Say bye, everybody. Staff, feel free to unmute and tell everyone bye.
Bye.
Good job, Sandra.
Bye.
Thanks,
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Nani
Bye.
Sanla.